You're watching Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in the Inland Empire today, joined by Andrew Cruz. He is a trustee with the Chino Valley Unified School District. And in November, there were several elections. One of them, at least in your region, was called Measure G. It was a school bond. And all school bonds to pass need to get 55% of the vote.
Yes.
Not 66.66, not 50% plus one, but 55. What happened with Measure G?
Well, Measure G passed very slightly.
Right.
We had a 55.99.
Nice.
So
Well, a win's a win.
a win is a win, but you know there is a strife between the community wanting the desire to have Measure bond and those that are very concerned about the amount of money that they're.
Which is, I understand, but we do know that throughout the region there were school bonds on the ballot in many communities. Almost all of them wound up passing.
Yes.
We know that statewide there was Measure 51, which is a statewide school bond, $9 billion,
Yes.
$7 million for K-12. That passed.
Yes.
But I guess for those that are concerned, maybe they can take solace in the fact that there's an oversight commission
Oh yes.
as part of Measure G.
That's right.
Tell us about that.
An oversight commission that was created roughly 3 weeks ago, members within the community that will deliberate when it comes to what the priorities will be. But originally it's the board that decides the big issues.
Right.
And then the committee will decide where the money should go, what direction the money should go within those priorities that the board had decided.
But did the bond set forth specifically what projects would be developed as if the bond passed?
Yes, yes.
So we know.
Yes, exactly.
We know. So let's talk about some of that, because what's interesting is that from what you've heard, in the first phase, there's a desire at least to renovate as opposed to go through wholesale additions. Is that what you've heard?
Well, partly
me.
yes,
Yeah.
partly yes. I know Chino High School is a very old school.
Right.
And they want to completely build a new
Yes.
school.
Right.
And then at the preserved surroundings, they want to create a new elementary school.
Okay.
And then when it comes to
The actual
the
revitalization,
of the schools,
renovation.
there are 10 schools that are older than 25 years.
Right.
And that's where the matching funds from Prop 51 is going
Right.
to help with the matching funds when it comes to the
But I
revitalization.
think the good news, though, especially for those that are concerned, is that there's a very specific process. It's been laid out very diligently. And what we know is that with phase one, we're going to look at renovations, we're going to look at Chino High School, we're going to look at some modernization as well. And then we go to phase two, we're going to look at the elementary school in College Park. We're going to look at some of those matching fund projects. There's a high school, Ayala, which is going to be looked at as well in phase two.
Yes, yes.
So it's not as if it's just like roughshod, let's just start spending away.
Oh, no,
we
not
know
at
what's
all.
going to happen.
Exactly. I think the community was concerned that every 100,000 is going to be roughly maybe $30 to $60 on top of their property tax.
Right.
And that's where,
Well, this is a big bond,
It's
too.
a big bond.
$750 million is not chump change.
no.
And so your
not at all.
voters were extremely generous
Oh, yes.
when they passed this.
Very
the
true.
question becomes, how do you leverage Measure G with Proposition 51? You've hinted at it already, but as you know, with any state bond, if you have matching funds on the local level, you're higher up in the queue. So are you already starting to work to start leveraging those Prop 51 bonds?
Well, that's where the 10 schools that we have that are older than
Right.
25 years, that's going to help us tremendously in supporting those school sites that are in need.
Right.
And we based on that, the number of portables.
Right.
If technology, if it's older technology, we have to improve on that. I know one big thing that we want to do is we want to create a keyless entry
Nice.
throughout the district.
Sure.
And as well as technology too. But when
Right.
it comes to matching funds with Prop 51, that's going to help us tremendously with school sites. They're need-based,
And
you know.
I got to say, I mean, I don't know if you realize this when you put Measure G on the ballot, but your timing was great, because with the simultaneous passage of Prop 51, you know, you're there. I mean, there are other school districts that are now scrambling because they don't have a bond. 51 did pass, and they want to access those funds, but they can't access those funds until they have a matching program.
Exactly.
So, you know, Chino Valley got very lucky there.
Oh, yes. And if it didn't pass, we would be in big trouble.
Right.
You know, and even the matching funds, when it comes to these 10 schools, we wouldn't be able to build these better schools with the matching funds because
Sure.
we would have never had those opportunities. So we were very fortunate that this passed.
I want to shift gears, if I may, and talk about charter schools. As you know, in certain communities, charter schools are very, very popular. For example, in LAUSD, I mean, not far at
Yes.
all from Chino Valley, about 16% of all students, or over 100,000 students, are enrolled in charters. But charters continue to be controversial. You either love them, well, I don't know if it's always love them or hate them, but they continue to be controversial.
Yes.
It looks as if, is this your first application for a charter in Chino Valley?
Well,
'Cause you have
so
one-
far, yes, but about 5 years ago, we had OPA.
Okay.
You could say that was the first.
And
but
what
this is the
happened
second.
there?
Well, that was approved.
It was approved. So you already have a charter school in Chino Valley.
Yes.
And how is that going?
Oh, that's going, based on their scores, they're doing fantastic.
And so that's good news, but is there a concern at that charter school or the proposed Sycamore Prep Academy that, for example, underserved students won't be able to access the charter, or teachers are not unionized so they don't get benefits like they would if they were at a standard public school? Charters siphoning away resources from public schools. I mean, these are concerns
Those
that
are,
you hear.
know, you're exactly right. Those are major concerns. But there's also another side too, and that is they do bring different types of innovative ideas when it comes to teaching our children.
Indeed.
And one big part is they bring values back to the school. So well, moral values,
Whatever it may be.
whatever it may
Right.
be. So in some instances, it's good to have a diversity of learning outcomes, teaching methodologies.
Right.
Within
Well, but let
the
me
school.
ask you, because part of the hoopla surrounding charters is there was a hope that charters would be innovative, like you suggest, and they would cross-pollinate with public schools, traditional public schools. I mean, are we seeing that? I know you only have one and maybe two, but are the public schools in Chino Valley getting the benefit of the innovation of, what was the name of the first of the charter you said?
OPA.
OPA.
Oxford Preparatory
Yeah, I mean, are they
Academy.
getting the benefit of their innovation?
Now, I would just say yes, they are getting a benefit when it comes to that school. The school is situated where it is placed in an undeserved area.
Okay.
So students have opportunities to go to a school. They may have an enriching experience.
Right. What
over
about
there.
Sycamore Prep? Is that looking to be in an underserved area, or? 'Cause
Yes,
What's so interesting about your district, you have Chino Hills.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
extremely well off, and Chino, which faces some challenges.
Yes,
So it's kind of a tale of two cities.
Well, that school
Yeah.
will be situated, if it passes, at the Alternative Center.
Ah,
So it'll be
In
part-
Chino or
in
Chino Hills?
Well, in Chino Hills.
in Chino Hills.
And-
Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be
So what
part
do
of
you
the
think of that?
alternate. So it is a good idea, having an alternative, having a charter school right there with the alternative
Maybe they can
education.
kind of. I mean, if you're an alternative school, maybe it's a second chance for you. Maybe the
Yeah.
charter kids can be supportive, and
That's
I mean,
right.
there's
It could
nothing
be,
wrong. I know my
exactly.
daughter, for example, she plays soccer, and they play against a team from Juvenile Hall.
Oh, see, that
And I
is
think it's
awesome.
fantastic.
I think, no, it is fantastic.
I think
It
it's
is good.
fantastic. Okay, I want to thank you for joining us,
thank
Andrew.
you,
You're a
sir.
good man.
Oh,
His
thank you.
name is Andrew Cruz. He is a trustee with the Chino Valley Unified School District. Lots going on in that San Bernardino area. My name is Brad Pomerance. We are in the Inland Empire today. You're joining us on Local Edition.